you cut that thing altogether. Dissolve, get out. It's finished, it's gone, bye. Hello, hey, hi, how's it going? Come on in to my returning spaces, my returning subscribers rather. Come inside, get comfortable. You know how it goes. To my new faces, welcome. I hope you consider staying. Subscribe if you haven't, like if you haven't, share if you haven't, please. Okay, obviously wait until the end, but I'll appreciate it. So I'm not going to ramble like I always do. I say the same thing every single time you see me because you know I get distracted. So without further ado, today's topic is a continuation of part 1. So this is part 2 to a 2-part video that speaks about emotional affairs. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, pause it right here, go back to my part 1, get up to speed and come back. I'll wait for you. I'll go and get my tea in the meantime. Okay, you up to speed? Did you catch up? You know what we're talking about? Okay, so now you know that we discussed the red flags, identifying markers of an emotional affair. So we know that these types of situations are a lot more accessible now than they were, say, 20, 30 years ago. Because just think about it, then it was usually, or these occurrences would usually happen with people within close proximity, say in your workplace. Like I said in my previous video, people that you train with, places of recreation, people you walk your dogs with. I'm just putting examples out there. Whereas today, enter modern technology, social media platforms, you've got dating apps. So I think the risks of this happening now is way more likely than it was then. So just to put us into perspective of how common this is now and how serious it is. Not that it wasn't then, but just that we need to be more aware, and the likeliness of this happening, like I said, is a lot more now than it was a few years ago. So for some, it could be perhaps that they feel undervalued. Maybe they don't feel that they're appreciated enough in the relationship. I know for a lot of people, this is very important, to feel worthy. I think for all of us, to some degree, we want to feel that we hold some value in our relationships. You want to feel important to someone. And perhaps this is not intentionally on your partner's part. Perhaps he's just so involved in work or extracurricular activities. He could be so immersed in his hobbies. It happens. But if we're not communicating that point, or we're not getting it across and we're bottling it inside, this could lead to us seeking it elsewhere. And not necessarily seeking it, but finding it elsewhere. Another reason could be boredom. Some people are emotionally detached, and this could be because your spouse is perhaps emotionally unavailable. It could be because I'm not a parent, but I do know, and I do have friends who are parents, and I know how dedicated they are. So this could also be a reason that all of your time and your energy goes into raising your children. Another one could be mental health challenges. Some people, we all, I can't isolate one specific one because we all have our own challenges mentally, emotionally, that we have to face on a daily basis. So in that area, it could be anything. It could be anything. Another reason is because they can. As simple as that. I know it sounds harsh, but some people cheat, or some people look outside of their marriage purely because they can and they want to. Maybe they believe that they won't get caught. Sometimes I'm not sure if it's the rush that they chase, or maybe I know for some it could be for selfish reasons. Maybe they feel that they might have their own partner more emotionally invested or committed to the relationship if they know that there's a possible threat from the outside. Does it make sense when I say that? So whatever the reason may be, we know that as humans, we have this this innate need to be validated and listened to and heard. So if we're not getting that from somebody who we committed to, and I'm specifically referring to a marriage, we may gravitate towards somebody, be it a co-worker, be it a neighbor, or somebody that we don't even know in person on social media. If we're going to find that this person is, or it's freely available from said person, you're going to take it. So I've just highlighted a few of the reasons what might drive somebody to look or to seek for emotional support or emotional attachments from somebody outside of their committed relationship. So let's get into the how. So we've already covered the red flags. We've covered why or possibilities. Let's go into what if I'm in the situation now, the regret is in, I feel bad, I wish I didn't do it. How do I get out of this? Is there still hope for my marriage, for my relationship? What can I do? So here are a few tips that you can invoke in the process of mending your relationship, or at least working through it. And I've put together a list of 5 tips. So let's get into the first one. So the first tip I have is to end your emotional affair and take responsibility. So if you're the person who was involved in the emotional affair, the most important step that you can take, this being the first, is own it. Own your mistake. Take responsibility for what you've done and end it. And not half end it or sort of end it or end it with conditions. You cut that thing altogether. Dissolve, get out. It's finished, it's gone, bye. This is so important because if you or your goal is to build or to win the trust of your partner, and you wanna build that trust within that person again, how are you going to do that if you don't cut ties completely? This is your chance to prove to your partner, look, I'm serious about this, I've made a mistake. So you take responsibility and you end it. So the second tip I have is to figure out why it happened. So in order to repair your current situation within your relationship, you need to understand what drove you in that direction to begin with. So especially if you want to avoid doing this again or repeating mistakes, it's important to know that, why did I resort to this type of behavior? Was it because my relationship was failing, for example? Is it because I have a low self-esteem? Some people repeat a pattern that they could have witnessed or experienced from their parents. Maybe you had a cheating parent. There's many different reasons, but this is your chance to really dig deep within yourself, and you need to have these honest self or introspective conversations where you are just 100% transparent with yourself. And that's the only way you're going to get to the crux of why you did this to begin with. Okay, so the third tip I have is to talk about it. So once you know what's missing and you've discovered, okay, these are the things that drove me to this, you need to talk with your partner. Okay, so now that you've discovered what's missing, keeping those lines of communication open with your partner is so important. I think that's the first step to addressing the situation. And you need to let your partner know. You need to let your partner know why it happened, your concerns and your feelings around the situation, not only the affair, but your relationship. And the only way that you can recover, or the two of you can recover, is for your partner to know and for you to just play open cards and lay it out on the table. As daunting as it sounds, that is very important, very, very important. So you might want to consider communication and keeping those lines open and clear. So the fourth tip I have is to rebuild trust. Now, this is going to be the biggest challenge. This is going to be the biggest one because you need to be completely transparent and trustworthy in order to win your partner's trust again. So if this looks like you cutting off all ties with the person you were involved with, if it looks like you like avoiding high risk areas, which means like obviously not isolating yourself or being in isolated spaces or places with this person, heading straight home, straight after work. Whatever it is that you need to do in order for your partner to feel that you are worthy of their trust again, you need to commit to that. And we know that it's going to take time, like anything, but you need to be patient and just use your time wisely. Just use your time wisely. So the fifth and the final tip I have is to trust the process. So if your goal is to reinvigorate your emotional and your physical bond with your partner, you need to trust the process. Trust that your marriage will work, and do it confidently. If you are a person if you are religious, pray about it. Pray about it. Let that build the faith between the two of you to know that your union can work. I am a firm believer in prayer, and I do know that a marriage in my eyes, and I know for a lot of Christians, is a threefold cord. I cannot depend on myself. I cannot depend only on my partner. There's only one way that I feel, if two dedicated people really want to make this work, and this is that you need to trust and have faith in the power of God and in the power of prayer. So therefore I say you have to be confident that this will work. If this is what you really want and you know that there's absolutely nothing that's going to break this, you need to trust. So there you have it, our 5 tips on what to do if you are caught up in this type of situation. For those of you who are, I hope you benefit from this video in some way. Or if you know of somebody who's experiencing this at the moment, share it. Share the video with them. Perhaps they might benefit from it. As I said, the purpose of this video is to create awareness. And that's what I'm trying to do within our community, is the topics that I discuss. It might come across as light topics, but it's something, life happens, guys. It happens. And these things can happen to any one of us at any given time. Not that we particularly go out looking for them, but you never know what situation you might find yourself caught up in. Like I said, as much as you're not hunting or you're going out for it, it might just come to you. So we just want to be aware, and we want to be responsible, not only for ourselves, but for everybody who would be involved if this were to happen. Because again, when you're in a committed relationship, you've made a promise to that person, which you have to honor, and you have the responsibility of honoring. So I hope that you like this video. If you feel that you do, please like. Please comment down below if you feel there's any tips that I didn't cover, or you would like to add tips, or you know what, anything surrounding the part 1 and part 2 of topic, or the information to share in both videos. Please feel free to share it. Share it in the comments down below, because like I always say, I invite all comments. There's no such thing as a negative comment. The only difference is we need to be respectful. It's all I ask. So please feel free. Feel free to comment, feel free to share, feel free to like, to subscribe, to come back. I would really appreciate it. I enjoyed today's conversation. I don't know about you, but I really do enjoy topics where I can learn, or rather topics that I can learn from, and red flags or potential red flags I can avoid, because none of us ever want to walk into something willingly. But yeah, there's our self-awareness for the week. So guys, as always, I will be seeing you soon again. Thank you very much for taking the time out for watching today's video. So be mindful, be content, and be blissful. Have a good week, guys. I will see you soon. Ciao.